What's your name? Bella. Awesome. Welcome. Where are you from?
Santa Cruz.
Great. Did you just move down here?
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome to San Diego. This is Francis. This is Andrew, Brittany, Charm, Brandon, Raina, Alicia, Francis, Andy. There'll be a test at the end.
Okay.
She's like, oh, that's Abdul. He's the camera person. Doesn't matter. And I'm Nuno. And oh yeah, I'll warn you now. It's a no phone zone. If I yell at you for being on your phone, the first time, don't take it personally. The second time, try not to do it. And then the third time, get used to it. Okay, here's what we're doing today. This is a workout from CrossFit.com. 3 rounds of 500-meter row, and then 12 ring muscle-ups. I would say this is aggressive. What that means is that 12 ring muscle-ups is aggressive for most people. So what we have to do is find a good scaling modification for most people. We'll go through a progression on the low rings, and if you don't have ring muscle-ups, I think working on the transitions is a great option. So maybe we work a little bit on pull-ups, whether it's strict pull-up negatives or kipping with a band, so that we accumulate some sort of pulling and maybe a pushing motion as well. Nice and simple. All I want us to do is be able to hold our support on the ring, so holding here. If you can't do that, maybe find a set of lower rings where you can still do that and have your tippy toes on the ground like this. The goal is to try to hold for 30 seconds, but if you can't hold for 30 seconds, let's do 20. Let's make it a little easier. Maureen, are you showing off over there? All right, that was amazing.
Thank you.
That was really good. Have you done that before? That's great. It's like I'm not doing the ring dip. So nice and simple, that's the first thing you're gonna do. The second thing you're gonna do is a full range of motion ring dip. If you can't do a ring dip, that's okay. You can use your feet to assist the descent. So coming down all the way, okay, when you get to the bottom, meaning your bicep is touching the ring, you're gonna come back up to the top, okay? And on the high rings, the one thing that we always teach is, hey, make sure you can do a strict muscle up before you learn how to do a kipping muscle up. Why? Because if you have the ability to do a strict muscle up, when you fall over the rings, you can catch yourself. If you do a big kipping swing and you happen to fall through and you don't catch it, potentially you could roll your shoulder, and we don't want that to happen. In order to help you on the high rings, we're gonna introduce the false grip. So the false grip, I'm gonna judo chop the rings. That's the part that should be on the rings. Once you've done that, you're gonna turn that hand inward and then make a fist. And then I wanna make sure my knuckles are touching. This is what we call the false grip. It's uncomfortable. Get used to it. It will help tremendously when you're trying to do muscle ups. So I'm gonna establish that false grip. Once I have that false grip, I'm gonna kneel directly under the rings, and then I'm gonna lean back a little bit. And then all I want you to do is try your best to maintain a false grip. More than likely, you're gonna do this. Watch the difference between a false grip and a neutral grip. What just happened? Magic. Very good, all right. On the neutral grip, or excuse me, the false grip, you can see how easily I transition. Going from below the rings to above the rings, where here I was still stuck, meaning I gotta do that excessive kick to try to get over the rings. So false grip, one more time. Judo chop the rings, and then knuckles touching, feet directly under the rings, push your knees forward, and then lean back. And then all I want you to do is practice these two portions, pulling to the sternum, and then we're gonna get to the bottom of the dip, and then all I want you to do is pick your feet up. What will happen is, more than likely, some of you will do this. But that's never gonna happen on the high rings. Option 1, down in front of me, and now all of a sudden this becomes a little bit more demanding of my upper body. But notice the drill is still the same. I'm still pulling to my sternum, I'm still getting to the bottom of the dip, and then from there I have to press. Option 2 would be legs out in front of you. So legs forward like this, now legs are straight, I still wanna pull to the bottom, to the sternum, and then get to the bottom of the dip. That's option 2, okay? Option 3 would be to go from an L-sit. So just going straight into the bottom of the dip from an L-sit. Yes. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please.
You guys are so strong. For those of you that are not using the high rings, a banded transition is a great option. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Meaning 12 transitions equal 12 muscle ups. So you don't need to add any more volume here. The way I do it, nice and simple, I just put the band like this, and then I put my hands over it, and then I'm gonna sit down on the band, okay? Now, ideally, what I want to do is I want to bring my hips to the rings, and then once I bring my hips to the rings, I'm going to throw my torso over almost like a GHD setup, so it'll look like this. That's equivalent. So, here, okay, use your hips. You can see how I'm using momentum, right? Use your hips, get to the bottom of the dip, and then from here, if you need to use your feet to do the ring dip, you can, but if you want to jump up a little bit, you can as well. This, it's kind of tricky in terms of the time. I would say if you're spending more than 3 to 4 minutes on ring muscle ups, each round it's probably too long. Maybe 3 minutes, maybe 4 at the most. I think if you're bleeding into the 18-minute mark, we might have missed the mark. Maybe you're, instead of 12 ring muscle ups, you're doing 6. So maybe you're doing 3 every minute for 2 minutes. Some sort of combination that allows you to get back on the row in that 5 to 6 minute time per round. Does that make sense? As you can see, there's more of you than there are rowing machines. I know Andrew is going to probably be the first one to volunteer to run. So a couple options: 450 meters on the ski, 1,000 meters on the bike, or a 400-meter run. So those are equivalent to 500-meter row. Got it? Questions? Okay, find a piece of equipment. If you want to run, then head outside. Said no one. You're gonna run?
Oh.
All right, you know the route, right?
Good job, Andy. Good job.
It'll actually, I think it'll be easier to run.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and go. 2 minutes here.
Brittany.
Were you on time, kind of, almost? I think you're pretty bad. So that's the interpretation that you have of yourself. That is true. But it's not true because I don't think that.
Oh, you think I'm perfect?
No, I don't.
You think I'm going to hell because I'm late every day?
Oh God, that's very cruel. I can tell.
It's going on the Instagram page right here.
Hey Zoe, I see you. Are you doing class?
Hey, I'm not the latest today.
She's a college student. She has a reason.
And she doesn't have a car. She basically runs here.
Yeah.
From San Diego State.
She gets fitter every time she comes to the class. Yeah, she runs here.
It's harder on the way back. She has to go up the hill. Go ahead and spread your hands out a little bit, and then you're gonna go ahead and bring your feet and your arm down to the ground. You're gonna do 10 each, 20 total. Trying to get our shoulders warmed up so we can get on the rings. Find some space on the wall.
I feel like I shouldn't put this on camera.
Why? I think this is great.
Do you think this is great?
Yeah, why not? I mean, we're stretching.
Let me get Doobie on camera doing this.
Push your head through, trying to release your upper back here. Just know that the pull-ups or the muscle-ups are gonna be significantly hard after you row. That is normal. So don't be surprised if you experience some fatigue. All right, you got about 5 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go.
me like the last part of the video. Don't do it.
You're gonna have to watch the last of the video to find out.